Cool. So let's get started, guys. My name is Scott. I am the CEO and founder of Heroes Token. This is our weekly educational space called Live and In Person. Tonight we have two awesome projects, Sonder as well as Ape Kingdom. Ape Kingdom will be joining us a little bit later, but we're going to get started here with the team from Sonder. So, guys, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your background?
Lefty, go ahead.
Oh, me first, huh? So I'm Lefty, also known as the host. Um, Sonder was, originally an idea that I had made and had not intended on doxing for, and it's, for me, it was a way to express myself as not an evil person, which is what I'm supposed to be playing all the time as the host, and I've started to get back into that now. And it's just I felt personally that through all the stuff that's going on in the world lately, you know the COVID stuff and the isolation, people being isolated from families during important times, as people were dying, people having to put aside their lives and their precious moments and special moments and plans and so on and so forth. Um, that I just felt that the world as a whole over time even has been becoming more and more disconnected with each other, and we I feel that we tend to speak to each other in more generalized terms, like nobody really defines what happy is to them or what sad is to them. It's just, hey, how's your day? It's all right. I mean, we all do it. I do it, and that is okay in a passing conversation, but I don't feel like people express themselves to an extent for people to really understand and truly realize that, hey, there's something going on in my life. Just because my day is okay and your day is okay doesn't mean that's the same for each other. And I think that we're just starting to look at each other as one big whole group, which is good on some level. I mean, there's certain purposes that's wonderful, but we all need to still carry on our individual identities, and we all need to realize that while we can be on a common ground, we can be on a united front, that each of us has different things going on in our lives. And an experience for me, while you're doing the same experience, is not the same. And that was kind of the purpose. And again, to be able to kind of find a softer side of myself and express that without tarnishing the evil reputation of the host. And that was sort of abruptly brought to an end, as far as the doxing is concerned, as far as staying hidden. Some questions were asked, and I just kind of stepped forward in the effort of transparency and everything. So that's kind of where we're at now, and DB and Bricks and I believe also Alex now have kind of headed that up, so I can stay focused on Jigsaw.
Awesome. Yeah, and you know what? I mean, what you're saying there, that it hits home, I think, with a lot of us, especially those of us that are creating our own projects. We're doing it for a greater good. We're doing it to fill that void and to have something that goes beyond us, right? Ultimately, it boils down to leaving a legacy. And, I think all the good projects in this space, that's their ultimate goal, is they want to build something now that they can pass on to the next generation and build that legacy that they will always have that recognition, but also that good that they're doing for the space and, depending on what your project does, the world. So that's absolutely fantastic. DB, Bricks, you guys want to give us a little introduction and insight?
Yeah, I'll go next. Yeah, everybody knows me, Crypto DB. Started doing Twitter Spaces probably about a year ago, and always said I would never get this close to a project. However, when Lefty did launch this, the way everything went was very frustrating because of the game plan, but it is what it is. I had some ideas that I wanted to add to his idea, and yeah, here we are.
Awesome. Bricks, anything you want to add?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I instantly connected with this project because of what it represents. It's like Lefty said. I mean, we're coming from a dark time, not too long ago, and just in general, we're living in dark times. Um, people need to understand that we need to work together. I mean, everybody is going through something. Everybody has their own life happening. You know what I mean? We're all living the same life, just in different instances. But if we can all come together, as a whole, it can be great, man. I support this project 100%. I know it's gonna do great, and it's not always about the money. It's like you said, it's for the greater good, and that's what we're trying to do here, man.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and I think with all the recent events with inflation and just the way the economy is, almost on a global level, I think we have a lot more of that coming, right? And we need to provide a positive place. And I think with what Jigsaw does on Saturday nights, keeping it lighthearted, keeping it fun, bringing a whole bunch of people together from different communities and just having a good time. That is more of what we need. We need more positive in the space, and I think what you guys are building is pretty awesome. So why don't we go a little bit more into that? What is it exactly that Sonder is?
Well, we'll take it from kind of where Lefty's idea, initially was, the other side of him with NFTs and getting people to, show that part that a lot of people don't like to, do in public or in front of other people. So from that, we started to expand on it, and basically the future of Web3 artist exposure is where we're going with it. So it's going to be a platform to give artists in the space and outside of the space an opportunity to submit their talent, whether it's a drawing, a painting, music. Pretty much, it's a pretty long list of stuff that you're going to be able to submit. From there, it'll get put to a vote, and if your submission ends up winning, it will get created into an NFT, which will be obviously put up on OpenSea for auction. A portion of the proceeds will go to that person. But as far as, like, you look at it from the music point of it, which was extremely appealing to me after I started having conversations with some people outside the space. You've got a person, we hear it in the talent show all the time. You got these people coming in, they just, they're on a phone and they sound absolutely fantastic. And I've heard people say, are you on Spotify? They're like, well, no, I don't know how to do that. I don't have money. It's not that expensive to get people that kind of exposure. So, we'll be able to take some of this money from, the profits from the NFTs and stuff, and be able to get these people into studios, or to get them, their songs on Spotify. And we can take it to another level where, if this is that person's first song, in order for you to actually be able to get this song, you'll have to have that NFT. That NFT will have unlockable content that will actually play that song. So you think about it, you get somebody like, we use Justin Bieber as an example, found on YouTube. Can you imagine if one of his first songs was an NFT? That collection would be absolutely sold out and be selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars for people to actually get that. So I think there's a lot there. It will take a little bit of time to, work out all the kinks and figure out, the best way for us to go. But we did partner with Kaleidoscope. They are a marketing firm out of LA that work with quite a bit of artists. The other reason I chose to go with them was the simple fact that their 501c3 is already approved, and they've been doing a lot of charity stuff. So we are going to be making our first donation next week. I'm just waiting for Nick, the CEO, to decide on the school, but we're each going to donate $500 to go towards new musical instruments for this school for their band. So that will be the first donation that we're going to start with.
Dude, that's incredible. So is is donations going to be a big part of your project, or is it going to be mainly, the voting process, bringing in new artists, whatever their talent may be, and helping them get, more exposure?
So we're still working on the percentages of how it's going to go, but of every NFT sale, it's not going to be massive amounts, even if we're looking at 5 to 7%. I want to see a portion of that go to a charity. And because they have that 501c3, it's going to be a lot easier for us to not have to worry about those legalities and making sure that we're not, any tax issues. The other thing, I've talked to people in the community, and some of them said, listen, if I win, I don't want any of that money. I want to just give it to charity. So the more I started hearing people say that, it's like, there are some people that are going to want some of the proceeds from their NFTs, and they're entitled to it. It's their artwork or their music, and they deserve to be rewarded for their talent. But, I want to see a portion of that be going to charity as well. And I don't want to do, I'm not saying we're not going to donate to places like St. Jude's and those kind of places, but I want to see it get out to, the schools and stuff like this to help fund, art programs and music programs, kind of like what we're doing. I want to make sure that, people have that opportunity out there in school to have the equipment and stuff that they need.
Yeah, that's great. So, what is, I guess the donation coming up in a week is kind of the next thing on the docket, but what is it, let's say 3 months, 6 months, and a year down the road?
By then, I've had this conversation with Darren numerous times. We're going to be moving out of this space. It's going to be moved into real world utility, finding artists, not just in Twitter spaces and talent and stuff like that, to the point of scouting and bringing them towards us in a way, I guess, like a PR firm or, an agency of some sort. There's still a lot of little things that we got to work out, but partnering with Kaleidoscope has opened up a lot of opportunities for us, and it's going to bring in a lot of outside money to support the project, whether it's buying token or, trying to become a part of the project. We're not going to stay in the space too long. Twitter's a big space, but I think we've got plans that are a lot bigger than, just sticking around this little corner.
Yeah, I hear you. I know something's coming. Something has to come. But yeah, no, that's awesome. So you guys are going to break out of the traditional means of, I guess, networking, with Twitter and whatnot, and you're going to go to more of a real world, I guess, marketing strategy.
We're going mainstream. Once I get Nick to finally just get in a Twitter space and he can actually talk about his background, he knows a lot of very influential people in the music industry. He works with a lot of them. He books their events. He does promotions for them. And when he's ran this idea past some people, obviously I can't say just yet. We're still working out things with them to make sure that they feel 100% secure about the project and the team and putting their name behind anything. Obviously, we've seen all the stuff that's been happening with some celebrities with some crypto projects and stuff. So a lot of people are very nervous. They want to know everything and they know nothing. So it's going to take a little time to get that all organized. But once Nick speaks, I think people will get a better understanding what direction we're going to go. Also, the website was finished today. I did pin it up at the top. So anybody that's listening in this space, if you like, you can go. The submission page is on the bottom. You literally just, there's a button there to click your file and add it. And we'll get those submissions and we'll see how this week goes and start putting them to a vote, hopefully by the end of the weekend.
Awesome. And just a reminder, guys, everyone retweet the space. Let's get some more people in here. I'm checking out your website and, I'm looking at the journey. So the artwork that you have up there for the journey, the NFTs and raw artwork. So it looks like Lefty created the one and Alex created the other.
Yeah. And then we got Jessica. She just put in a couple submissions. I got one from Mikey. So all the submissions, we're going to just put them all up there so everybody can see what's going on. Then when the week's done, they'll all get removed except for the one that actually won. They'll have a permanent home on the website, kind of the Sonder Hall of Fame inductee. but yeah, everybody's artwork will be displayed. They can choose to have their name beside it, or they can choose not to. They can be anonymous. It's completely up to them. The submission page is anonymous, so really at the end of the day, I don't know whose artwork it is unless they tell me when they're doing their application.
Awesome. So let's go back to your token. Let's go over some of the taxes. What are your tokenomics, and how are you planning on using those?
It's pretty easy with this one. Lefty locks the liquidity for 199 years or 200 years. Contracts renounced. It's a 4% tax in and out, 3% for marketing, 1% for liquidity. And obviously 3% marketing is going to be used to get these platforms going, get people into studios, or things like that. The marketing wallet will not be used as any way of a charity wallet. That's 100% going to be used to push this project in the direction it needs to go.
Awesome. So the funds for charity are going to come from the sale of NFTs. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. And it is Ethereum based. So I'm guessing we're looking at Uniswap, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't think at this point we haven't had any discussions whatsoever about swaps and listings and all that stuff. That's definitely not in the near future. I just think in the direction we're going, I'm not sure about the listings is really going to make a big difference. But at the end of the day, it's a renounced contract, and Lefty is the developer of the project, and he's, like you said, he's going to be spending most of his time doing what he wants to do with Jigsaw. But this was his idea from the start, so it's renounced, right? So really, it's a community project. So we're going to hear what the community has to say. They want listings and all that. That comes with a big price tag, and we'll just have to look at it when we cross that bridge.
So, and I don't want to press if you can't go into this, but what other forms of, and this is just a question that we get a lot, and that we've had other tokens answer, is there going to be funds other than the tokenomics and the NFTs that are going to help support and push the project and actually help stabilize your floor? Are you going to do buybacks and burns and things of that nature?
Lefty, you can get into that because you've been taking care of that quite well right from the start. So I think that's a lot what the marketing wallet's been used for. As of right now, that's all it's been used for.
Yeah, I would say, well, I think it's used a little bit for a website and a couple other small things, but yeah, I think we're going to be a little bit more selective with burns. I know we have, I think, around 8 or 10 million tokens that were bought back that haven't been burnt yet. One of the things that was important to me, which in a lot of cases is not great for a project, but it's all a matter of who's doing it and who's the dev of the project and who's buying. So I bought a lot in the beginning. I don't even know how many, and honestly, I don't even remember how many I sent to the burn wallet. Do you have any idea, DB? I think it was like 160 million or something. So
Give me a sec here. I'm just going to check the burn wallet.
So I bought up a lot of the very early, cheap, $10 for a max wallet, $20, $30, $50, whatever it was for max wallets at the time. 100, I really don't remember, and I burnt a lot of those tokens. I do still hold some. I'm not even sure how many, but that wallet's gonna really, I think, the purpose now is going to be to more further the project. Certainly, if there's excess funds or maybe on some special occasions, to support the token, we would definitely use it to help support the token and buybacks and burns. Absolutely.
So we've burnt 26.07% of the supply, which is 208 million or almost 209 million tokens are gone out of the supply. Actually, dead address has more than what's in Uniswap. But yeah, that was all done from the stuff that he, like Lefty said, that he bought and using some of the marketing wallet after launch. But 26% of supply already gone. It's a pretty nice little number.
Yeah. I just think it's crucial to, it's really important to see to handle your project right. And I'm not saying that the right decision is to always do like I did, or it's the wrong decision if you don't do it. To me, it's just a way that you can kind of prove yourself as a dev that you truly have the best interest of the community. I mean, nobody knew what I bought. I mean, I bought from all sorts of wallets, that aren't doxed wallets. And I sent all that stuff. Like I said, I voluntarily sent it to the burn wallet to just kind of prove a point. So
Yeah, and as a founder and dev of your own project, I mean, you have to always be looking out for your community, and that just shows that you guys are. To take funds that you acquired and send them to the burn wallet, right? Yeah, I truly appreciate that. I think that's amazing that you're doing that. I'm also excited to see, where you guys are going here in the future with Kaleidoscope and where that leads. So let's get into the artwork. You guys take submissions. If somebody wanted to make a submission for whatever it may be, whether it's musical talent or just actual physical artwork, where would they send that, or how would they submit it to you guys?
So it's pretty simple. All they got to do is go to the website, which is pinned up top. I've just, since we've had this space, I've gotten 3 or 4 submissions already. So that's awesome. Right down the bottom, just his name, email, you put your message and your uploads right there. Just choose your file, whether it's an MP3 or PNG or JPEG or whatever it is. I think Alex has got it pretty much narrowed down. Anything's going to go through. If you have an issue sending the file, just jump in the Telegram or find one of us on Twitter, send us a message and we'll get it. But I think he's got it pretty much locked down. So once it goes in there, it's going to our email address, and Alex will be posting the stuff up there. Again, you choose to put your name, yes or no, that's up to you. But they'll sit in this Hall of Fame, I guess is what it is. If you look on the bottom page, you can kind of see it's a great big hall, and that's where everything's going to end up getting displayed.
Nice. So the people that make submissions that are not winners, what happens to their artwork?
I've had a few discussions with people about that stuff. Obviously, they already have a copy of their own stuff. So I guess it's not like we're just going to throw it away, but it'll probably just get pushed into some type of folder. And the one thing that was suggested to me is, after 3 months or 6 months or 9 months, we go through the folder of ones that didn't win, and we give them all a second chance. And just another way to give everybody another opportunity.
Awesome. Anything that we're missing here? I know we've gone over a lot, but
no, just all I can say for our community is you guys have been very patient. We started off real fast. I think we delivered too many things too quickly, and we set the bar too high. Obviously, we've backed off that, regrouped, and come up with a little bit of a different strategy. So things are coming out. We're not rushing stuff. Now that the website's out with that platform on there, once this first submission is done, it's the point of, sending it over to the architect to get that first NFT. And once we get that one up and running, a lot more things will come after that's done. Things will move a lot quicker.
Yeah, and the website does look sharp. I saw your old website, and the new one is definitely on point. Love it.
Yeah, no, we got, so that again, it was a community member, Alex, that, just messaged me. He said, listen, I know you guys had to slap together a website quick to, get your CMC and Dex tools and all that. He's like, but, I'd love to actually build a site for you guys. So yeah, he's been working on that for the last couple of weeks and had it ready to go today. He did a great job. So he'll be able to keep making adjustments and adding more things to it. And I'm just excited to get it out because it was really the main thing we needed to get going.
So what about a white paper? Are we going to see a white paper in the near future, or? White
paper's already out. It was called the Life paper, not white paper. It was Life paper. Lefty, or the host, he likes to do things a little different. So that version's already out. And I think, when did you say, Lefty, the next part of that was? I can't remember what the date was that you had set for that.
I don't think there was actually really a date set. I would say, if I'm going to be honest, which I always am, it's actually probably overdue. I should sit down. We should get together and kind of just discuss that so we can integrate some of the changes that that you guys have come up with and kind of get it on a cleaner sheet and a more complete sheet because that wasn't complete to begin with. Yeah, stuff definitely needs to be added there.
So let's just say the new life paper version V2 should be out within the next 10 to 14 days.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I can agree with that.
Awesome. And where would people go to find it?
That will definitely be posted on the website. It'll be all over our Telegram. You'll be able to find the link for it on Twitter account. It'll be all in the usual places, but obviously it's easiest just to go to the website.
Okay, cool. And I want to open up the floor here for the community. Anybody in here that has a question for the team from Sonder, please, by all means, request the mic. We'll bring you up and have you ask a question. I have to just ask because I know you, DB, but why Beaver? I mean, you could have picked another
Because I'm from
Canadian
Canada.
rock
I'm
band.
from Canada first off, and when you've got a kid that was, what was he, 9 or 11 years old, that gets discovered by somebody like Usher from YouTube, and look where he's at now. It's just one of those stories when you're trying to explain to somebody your motivation, your thought process of what you're trying to do in the crypto space and the NFT space. People they have a hard time kind of wrapping their head around this. Like, well, this doesn't have any business in the space. And it's like, well, why doesn't it? Why can't it be? Web3, metaverse coming, there's nightclubs out there and there's escape rooms getting built. Why can't I have a little talent agency in the metaverse as well? But Bieber's the perfect example. It's just somebody that just got found out of nowhere, and they pushed him and got him into the places he needed to be, and look where he's at now. So if we can do that for a couple people, I'd feel that this project was well worth launching.
No, so I'm just giving you a hard time. That's all.
Oh, I know, but I got to defend. I got to defend the Biebs. He's another Canadian, so I got to stand up for him.
That's great. So anyone that has a question, please request the mic, come on up, and give us whatever questions that you have. I think you touched on this, but so all these submissions are going to get put on your website, and people are going to be able to go and vote on them, and whoever gets the most votes, is that how that's going to work?
Well, initially, the way Lefty had done up the life papers, we were basically going to form an inner circle of people. I can't remember, what did you call it, Lefty? A creed or something?
I actually think council, the inner council.
Council. That's sorry, yeah. That we're gonna, at this point right now, with the community the size that it is, I think between the people that are on the team and maybe a couple of very active community members, we'll just form that little group and we'll see how that goes for a bit. And if the community really wants to get involved in it, I personally have no issue of leaving it up to the entire community to cast these votes.
Nice.
I can agree with that too. I mean, I don't see any problem with that. I mean, anything that I'm ever making or involved in, Jigsaw and Sonder. I mean, the whole purpose is to try to bring a place where people can maybe set aside their differences a little bit, even if they're not the best of friends, and we can all interact and work together for a common goal, for everybody. That's always what I'm looking to do when I'm making the decisions that I make when coming up with ideas and ways to, and stuff like Sonder or Jigsaw. It's always about the community and ways that we could just be more of a one person, a group of people with a common goal. It doesn't have to be from the same project. We don't have to fight each other for, somebody's $500. We can all work together. So I can agree exactly with what DB said. It certainly could be an entire community effort, community vote.
Well, if you take this back to like how this started, the whole reason that he wasn't going to be doxing himself and was going to, stay undoxed and renounced and everything else was because he's the face of Jigsaw. That's his project. That's the one that he's spending all the time on. But that limited him to a lot of things that he could, doing the space. Obviously every human being's got different sides. He's not just a crazy person that loves, escape rooms and, saying weird shit like you drink blood or die today or whatever, that crazy shit that goes on in that chat sometimes. There's another side to him, but that was going to kind of take away from the whole Jigsaw thing. So he stays undoxed, and it was nice and simple. But we all know how things get, and unfortunately, people just don't think before they speak, and put him in a situation which, it's not that he was trying to hide anything. We were just trying to do something fun. And unfortunately, people just didn't want us to have any fun, I guess.
Yeah, and I think with that whole ordeal, the communities can force you or force your hand to do things that you're not planning on doing. Yeah, I can personally relate to that. We were planning on doxing the Heroes team after we launched, but we had a plan of when we wanted to. And because of events in the space and things that were happening, we were almost forced to. The community demanded it. And, I mean, it was going to happen sooner or later anyway. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to take that and just run with it. But I think Jigsaw demands almost that mysteriousness, almost that obscurity, and just that, I don't know, it just everything that you guys do in that chat is like on another level of twisted, right? And with Sonder, it's just, you're right. I mean, it's a total opposite of what you guys have with Jigsaw, and it's looking at the positives and the good that people can produce out of whatever talent they may have, and you guys want to take that and share it with the world. I love that.
Yeah, we're just going to keep going forward with it. Little hiccup, little speed bump. You just keep moving forward, and a lot of other ideas came out of everything kind of having to move so quickly. Bricks did actually post up at the top the first version of the life paper. It's actually pinned up top, so if you'd like to go take a look at that, that is up there for you.
Awesome. So, anybody have any questions? Please raise your hand. Come on up. If not, then I thought I saw Ape Kingdom in here, but maybe I didn't.
And Bricks, I know you got to go, so if you got to go, man, you go do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually we're driving right now, so I mean, I'm gonna stick around as long as I can.
Well, you got a birthday to celebrate, man. Enjoy your birthday, buddy.
Yeah, man. I'm in the car right now, so on the highway.
Nice. Yeah. So, no, that's great. Anything? Do you guys have your stuff posted up top? I see. And if you want to, everyone in the space should be following everyone up here as a speaker. Check out Sonder. Jump into their Telegram. Learn more about their project and what they're doing. If you're an artist, by all means, check out their website and submit a piece of artwork, and have them review it and see if they can, if they find it to be something that they want to put in their hall.
One other thing I will touch on, Scott, is this was brought up to me actually yesterday, and somebody was going to submit something, and they said, I'm pretty sure it's not going to win, but do you think you guys could still help me find the right way to get this into an NFT if I wanted to, maybe start a collection? It's like, I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. It might not, but I've got the money for it, and I kind of want to try. Absolutely. If you don't win and your submission doesn't go through, and you're trying to find some help, whether it's, how do I get my song on Spotify, or how do I, get this drawing turned into an NFT? We're still going to push people down, get them, open up the right doors for them. It just wouldn't be free, they'd be coming out of their own pocket kind of thing. But you can't turn down people if they feel they've got something, and, other people didn't agree, but they feel very strongly about it. I want to encourage them to, go after their dreams.
Oh, absolutely. And heck, I forget when it was. I think from a Saturday Space, I met a guy, and he had this awesome poem, and yeah, he asked if I could help him turn it into an NFT. So I literally created an NFT for him, and walked him through how to do it, and he never launched it. So, but I mean, that's what this is all about: helping each other out. If somebody has a gift or has an idea that they want to, take and explore further, I mean, I'm always willing to help somebody, and I love the idea of the creativity of all of it. So, no, that's fantastic. I did see Ape in here. I don't know if you're having trouble. You've been in and out. I am inviting you to pop up and talk. Or go ahead and request to speak, and I'll bring you up that way. But
Another, and oh, did he come up? I don't want to interrupt for moving, but just another quick thing I wanted to mention is that people need to really start realizing, and it doesn't have to be Jigsaw, it doesn't have to be Sonder. It's not. This isn't a pitch for one of those two, but what people need to start realizing is that if they could start buying into projects that are either coming out with a utility or have a utility already before they launch or are prepared, and really evaluate your team and your team's actions, because people just are buying into garbage, and it's very unfortunate. Um, they're just looking for that quick jump, but that doesn't happen. It's not going to happen right now. You're going to get that quick little bump somewhere, and maybe you get out, maybe you don't. Maybe you're rug pulled, maybe you're not. But just look at what's happened when you're looking into projects. Look at what the past was. See what the devs have done. See, learn how to get onto Etherscan. Talk to people who know. Get a basic education so that you understand and you can look at things and you can see little quirks and whatnot in the contracts or on the functions of the contract or in the history of the functions that have been performed on the contract to be able to understand what you're actually investing into and kind of maybe you can get a risk assessment there and just take a few more minutes to really investigate the project as opposed to clicking that swap button really quick because you think you're going to miss by a little bit. If it's a good project, a few seconds isn't going to matter. A few minutes, a half an hour, a couple hours. There's always a dip in crypto. So, take that time and instead of putting your 100, 200, 500, $5,000 into something and hoping it's going to be 10 times that in an hour, start looking at something that's, going to be maybe 20 times that, 30 times that in 1 or 2 years. You'll be much happier.
yeah, and I think that all comes down to, educating as well. I mean, we're looking at the market just really not doing, not being favorable, we'll say. And even, new coin launches aren't getting the pumps that they were getting back in October, September, November. So, to degen into just a new coin, getting listed is really not that great of a play anymore. I mean, they're not pumping like they used to. So the gamble there is not almost not worth it. I would say personally it's not worth it. But I think that's also why in this time this is the time that you're going to be able to pick up projects really inexpensive, especially ones that are continuing to develop and have a nice roadmap in place that they are checking boxes off as they go. Projects that are continuing to work right now and are building right now are the ones that are going to see the most return in the next bull run. And that's my opinion. I truly believe that the ones that make it through this and get to that next run are going to be the ones that if you're holding, you're going to be pretty happy with your wallets.
No, I completely agree with you, and exactly what you're saying there. Is I just yesterday I happened to be being a DGen, and 'cause I do that still sometimes. and take some risks. And I just happened to be on live pairs and ended up in a Telegram. And this this one project created something that's actually functional and like super helpful to the Telegram space, from everything I've seen. And I've seen it in action. And that project's getting treated the same way, but they actually have a functional utility that many projects, once it catches on, are gonna probably be using. Unless there's something I'm not seeing at this point. But there's people are just degenning that one. They're in, they're out, they're slammed, they sell, they buy, and they're just not giving them the time of day. I mean, they are to some extent, but not what it deserves. So really look into your stuff, and the ones that are, take some profits and whatnot, but be smart about where you are, because when somebody's presenting you utility at launch that's complete and ready to go and functional, you couldn't ask for much more. Almost every single project that comes out, or so many projects that come out, are like, all right, here, give me money and then I'll build this for you. But you do actually have people out there who are saying, here, I built this for you. Please buy it from me. And that's kind of the way that I've always felt things should go, more than anything. I mean, you shouldn't be out there trying to, and not always, but I find it much better when you have somebody out there presenting their working utility, their working, the functional product to the community when they're launching, versus saying, I need you guys to buy enough so I have 100,000 in taxes so I can create that product for you. It's just a major sign of trust for me that somebody's put the effort in first before saying pay me.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong there. And I personally, I will say that Heroes is the latter. I mean, when we initially launched, we were a meme coin that benefited charity, and that's pretty much what it was. And we quickly learned that for the idea that we had for longevity, that wasn't enough. And that's when we started building utility. And it's, call it inexperience, call it whatever you will. But the thing is, we have not stopped, and we have continued to contribute more money out of our own pockets rather than project funds to do what we've been doing. And, but I agree. I mean, the projects that are out there and when they launch have, utility right off the bat, that is absolutely fantastic. And you're right, it shows a abundance of trust.
Right. And I shouldn't, I have to be careful because sometimes I do speak in generalized terms, because I mean, my statement shouldn't envelop, projects like yours, because obviously you've taken steps to improve the project from where it began. And that's just as important as having the utility ahead of time. If you're just going to sit there and flounder about and, hey, buy me because, I'm a purple dog or whatever it is that the coin is, you know, eh, that's what's unacceptable. But when your dev team and your founders and whatnot, like you said, I mean, you're putting your own money into it, and that's huge. That people don't realize how big that is. They just take that for granted, But then if they're, everybody's like, oh, where's the tax money? Where's the tax money? How about, oh my God, these people are putting their own money into the project to develop it? You mean they're not just using our money for that, or they're not using our money for whatever it is? They're buying themselves a new car. I commend you for evolving your project. I mean, I think that's awesome.
I appreciate it. And yeah, and like I said, it was, call it what you will, but when we launched, we were one thing. We are a totally different animal now. And it is just from just being continuing our efforts to progress the project and continue to grow and, meet just what we set out to do. And yeah, we're excited about the future. We have a lot of things lined up, and we are checking things off, one thing at a time. And we're getting there. Not as fast as we'd like, but we are getting there. And yeah, we're not giving up. But I do.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, like I said, that's great. I didn't, and I feel like I may have come off the wrong way, because I don't want to shed people like what you're doing in your project in a bad light. And I do sometimes tend to put things in generalized terms, and I certainly don't mean it that way. But it's awesome what you're doing.
No offense taken, but we do have purple. What did you say it was? Purple. We have purple monkeys to buy. No, I'm just kidding. I should
I think
say
I
that
went
because
purple dogs or something. I don't know what I. And listen, hey, there could be a lot of great things behind a purple dog, So you never know.
yeah, and I should say because I think yeah, Ape Kingdom, they're what do you call it? Their logo is like a navy blue, but I think they're having issues. They're not popping up, and they've been popping in and out of the space. I may have to have them on another week, but no, and no offense taken, man. I've got thick skin. I can take, I can take it all, and I just think that the actions of projects, even after they launch, even if they launch with utility, you can launch with all the utility in the world, but if you do nothing with that over 1, 2, 3, 4 years, and you still have that same utility, I mean, is that any better than a project that's launching and building as they go? It's all kind of like I don't know. It all kind of goes
Are you?
back to doing your own research and looking at what they're doing. And yes, they may have utility, but are they going to continue to, produce on that utility and build on that?
Right. You're 100% right regarding that. It is actually the actions of the dev. And I probably should have worded it differently, because those actions can come prior to launch and they can come after launch. It doesn't matter where they are, but if the actions are made with a pure intent and, to really build a project, to really provide something for the community, the world, and what have you, then that is truly what matters. The actions of the dev or dev team is absolutely 100% most important.
Yeah, appreciate it. But hey, no offense was taken by any means. I understood what you were saying, and that's all fantastic. So, anybody want to pop up and ask a question to the team here? I think oh, Bricks must have popped down. Um, DB, anything you want to add?
No, I think I've pretty much covered everything. I just want to thank you guys again for doing these spaces. I hope you guys continue to do these. It's good exposure for projects.
Absolutely, and we do record them. And after the space is done, it will go on our YouTube channel, so you can send your communities there to listen to everything you guys are doing. Um, so it doesn't disappear from the Twitter space. But I do see Ape Kingdom here. If you can, please request to come up and speak. If not, man, we'll hook up and see if we can't get you on another week. I'm guessing you're having issues connecting.
Yeah, I tried reaching out to him just to like help out, but he doesn't even have a way to DM or anything.
All right, man. Well, what we'll do is Ape Kingdom, I'll hit you up in Telegram, and we'll see about getting you on another week and having you guys, share everything about your project, because I was really hoping you'd be up here today. You guys are building something pretty awesome, and it'd be great for the communities to hear about it. But with that, why don't we do this? Why don't we get some closing statements from the team from Sonder?
We're gonna leave that one to our dev Lefty. That's on you.
And Lefty, they put you on the spot a lot.
I know, right? And oh man, closing statement. I mean, that's a tough one. I think for me, um, being on the spot again. Really, the purpose, and I didn't kind of get to it before, is Sonder is kind of supposed to be the yin of the yang of the yang of the yin of Jigsaw, and as DB mentioned before, I mean, it's a place to express yourself. I mean, we don't want to see anything, horrid come through. And I'm talking like racist stuff, sexist stuff, you know, anti-religions. I mean, we're not trying to create something where somebody's going to put up something that's super controversial in that way. But it's a place to either anonymously or as yourself to really be able to express yourself and say what it is through whatever form of medium is best for you. And you don't have to be a professional. This is not a matter of, I mean, if a picture of you eating an ice cream cone means something, then submit it and explain what it means. Explain what's behind that picture to you. Like, really, really explain it. Don't say this is the last ice cream cone I ate with my father before he passed away. Say this is, you know, the last ice cream cone I ate with my father, and you know, these moments meant so much to me because of this or whatever it may be. To kind of describe my NFT, um, you know, that's really how I was like feeling. I was feeling like, I was being hung in a way, and the vultures are all over, just picking at whatever's left of me. It's kind of graphic what I did, but it's truly how I felt. I mean, it just felt like I was being devoured, and I was really, everything that I've done, I've really tried to do good for the community in every move that I've made with everything that I do, and that's as a dev, that's as a advisor, that's as a community member, as an investor, as just a human, because I really think that's what we need, and uh, I just felt like helpless and hopeless in that moment, and that's where that entire thing came from. So really try to express yourself if you're going to submit as best you can, and don't feel like you're not expressing yourself enough. You got to do what you feel is best, but the purpose behind this is to try to get people more in touch with themselves and to be able to share them, those that part of themselves that they keep hidden from others. And this is the opportunity to share it, whatever it is. So, I guess that's my closing statement. It's just really, really look inside and be yourself, and let everyone know who you are.
Awesome. I that is so great. And you're not wrong. I mean, art is a lot of passion, no matter what medium you're working in. And to have the passion to create a piece that is just from within, it just takes a lot, right? Um, and it does give you a lot to talk about and a lot to explain and the flow of, the piece. And, with your piece that you have up there, Lefty, I mean, I can totally relate. And I think almost any dev in the space that is building and has taken any kind of criticism or ridicule has felt that way, right? But no, I love that. That is awesome. And I have a piece that I had hand painted years ago. It was a custom commission piece that I did for somebody, but they had me be fully creative in creating it. And I liked it so much that I ended up turning it into an NFT, but it's still sitting in my wallet. Maybe I'll submit that over to you guys. Um, but that was about it's about 20 years old now. So it's an old
Wow.
piece.
Hey,
Yeah.
break it out. I mean, that's like I said, that's what it's about. Let them demons out. Let the good feelings out. Let the world know who you are. Let the people understand that, what happy means to you, what sad means to you, what angry means to you, what frustrated means to you. Because it's not just the Merriam-Webster dictionary. It's way more than that. The definition we're all individuals. We all react and act and feel differently. It's never the same experience for two people. It's impossible. It's no different than DNA. So whatever it is, the birth of a child, the death of a family member, the, first birthday of a child, your wedding day, the first time you just got up at the plate on a, softball game and you hadn't played baseball since you were 12 years old and you're playing softball at 50 and you hit, you send the ball out of the park, or whatever it is, just let people know what that means to you. That's what it's about. And do it anonymously if it's embarrassing, just play it that way. There's nothing wrong with that. But really take the moment to express yourself and to really, really express yourself and just see how much different you feel. Because it makes a huge difference. I know when I made that piece, I kind of hemmed and hawed about it for a little while. And I had two things, but when I was ready to put that together, it was like that thing just fell together. And I'm no artist, by any means, but that thing just kind of came together for me. And you'll know when you're there. And I really do. I think that people will know when, when they're in that zone and they're really kind of getting it out. And I felt better. I got to say, there was no question in my mind. That thing just kind of came together and I felt better when I was done. When I hit that mint button, I felt a whole hell of a lot better. So take that
That's
time, I'm telling you.
that's awesome. Danny, you came up to speak. Do you have a question?
Good evening, guys. For me, no, not a question. I'm from Ape Kingdom. I'm definitely moderator over there. We have some issues with connecting. Jeff, our one of our owner, is also have the same difficulty by joining and hear you guys. I had to log in 3 times before I could even hear you. And when I joined as a speaker, a couple of times, the volume went from 100 to 10. And so we have some difficulties connecting with you guys. So we hope to get to a solution very soon.
Hey, no worries, Danny. Here's what we'll do. I'm going to reach out to you guys via Telegram, and maybe we'll do a space just dedicated to Ape Kingdom at another time, possibly next week. I think I might have opening next week, if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Thanks for that opportunity. We will try to set up the things better next time, and we have make a footage of it. So yeah, it is what it is.
Hey, no worries, buddy. And like I said, let me check my schedule. But I think next Thursday we're open. We can slot you in there. All right. But yeah, we'll get together and chat in Telegram and make sure that all the bugs are worked out, and we're working on a time schedule that works for you guys, because I know you couldn't join until 9:30. So maybe next week we'll have a little bit later live in person for you. All right.
Yeah, that will be great. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So with that, my name is Scott. Heroes Token does these spaces for educational purposes, for discussions. We do this to allow the community to come up and ask questions to either our project or any of the projects that are joining us. And we do that as well as ask our own questions, because we want to make sure that people understand what these projects are all about. Today we had Sonder, and Sonder is really breaking down the barriers between traditional art mediums and digital and Web3. And they are looking to bring awareness to amazing artists in this space, and we love that about them. And it's been an honor to have the team from Sonder with us tonight. And hopefully they'll pop back in and join us in future live and in persons. But yeah. So, again, I appreciate everyone for popping in and joining this. It is recorded, so if you missed it, enjoy the replay.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for having us, man.
Nice. Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
You too, everybody. Have a good night.